Hello and good morning. I know it's technically the afternoon, but I woke up not long ago, so ignore me sipping my coffee while we are doing this. I am still waking up, but I wanted to come on today to show off some of the new releases we had this morning in the DFS store. We had a couple of we have a new craftable item that's decoration only, as well as a new vendor and four new types of plants. Now, let me give you a little history with these plants that were released, at least three of them. A while back, DFS had updated our herb gardens so that way it would give us basil, mint, garlic, as well as herbs. You had a random chance to get all four of those items. Now, a lot of people were not happy about the way the herb garden was. They didn't like that random chance, or, they were interested more in getting the herbs, or, they wanted that specific item, but they didn't want to have to chance getting it. So the DFS team heard that and they decided, well, let's go ahead and make them into the individual plants. Turn the herb garden back into just an herb garden like it originally was. And then we have these new plants to go with it. So yes, a lot of us are used to that random chance. That is no more. Our herb gardens will only give us herbs. Now, let's take a look. If you take a look here in front of me, you can see a sunflower off to the side. You see this planter box right in front of me filled with all these plants. Now, we're going to get to that, but I first want to cam over here. Yes, I put it over here instead of on the ground, so that way, it kind of looked better. We have our pork loin steak vendor. This was something that was just released today, as well as the recipe for pork loin steaks. So if you do have a market, especially one that you try and get a certain look for, a certain feel, this vendor is great. Now, a lot of people get nervous when you get the pop-up asking you for L's, but once you res this down, you are going to get that notification that this item is asking to access your Linden balance, because it is a vendor. All vendors do this. It's so this way, if it needs to issue a refund because it's out of stock or anything like that, it can without needing you to manually do that. But if you take a look, the steaks look wonderful on it. Looks just like you would get it in a real life market. The little, wood pig cut out there, just beautiful. Alright, so let's go ahead and come on over here. I'm saving this planter for last because there's a few extra things with it. We have our sunflowers over here. If any of you watched my stash box video from yesterday, I showed off the sunflower that we got in the stash box. The stash boxers did get a permanent sunflower, so where it says uses here, you know what, I forgot to highlight my mouse. So you see how it has the uses right here, the uses left 10. I did just buy it. I just barely cared and watered for it, so the countdown just started. So I haven't been able to get a harvest out of it or anything else like that. So it still has all 10 uses. What you buy in the store, you do have to spend, or excuse me, it is use based. So you only get 10 harvests from it. Now it is $100 in the store. I forgot to tell you the vendor here was only 50 L's. Now the vendor is no copy. So if you take a look, there is no vendor right here. So it is no copy. It is a one-time item. So if you need it in a couple different places, you will need to buy a few copies. The sunflower, again, as all of our plants, that no copy, you only buy the one. It is 100 L's in the store, and you do get 10 uses. Now, as far as I know, nobody has let us know exactly what we are going to be able to harvest from the sunflower, whether it will be the seeds, the flower itself, or even possibly oil. Even though I think if we were to harvest the oil from it, I think they would give us the seeds and let us make the oil. That would be the route I would have us go. But you never know. And in just a couple of days, we all got our sunflowers yesterday. So as of Thursday, we'll be able to tell you what we can get from it. Now, let's go ahead and move on over to the plants. Like I said, originally we would get the garlic, the mint, and the basil from our herb gardens, and so now they are their own plants. Again, they take 5 hours till we can harvest from them, and these ones are permanent plants, so you never have to rebuy them unless you want to be able to harvest more than one at a time. So like if you take a look here, I have three of each here in this planter. And honestly, I will tell you one thing. If you love going for that decorative look with your garden, I know in some places I do. This makes for a really amazing little piece here, the planter. Now, while I talk to you, let me actually pull up the recipe for the planter so that way I can tell you guys what it's going to take to make this. Now, while that loads, if you take a look, there are 9 spots here for plants. So you can use, like say for instance, the herbs here and make a wonderful little wall herb garden. You see it a lot of times in real life. Now you can do it in your second life here with your DFS items. Another really cool little thing that I found this purely by accident. I was trying to care for these plants in here, and I accidentally clicked on the wood instead of on the plant. So if you take a look, we have our DFS icon right here, and all I did was I clicked on it. All I did was just click on the wood. You can click anywhere on the wood and it will change the texture here in the middle where the DFS icon was. And by my count, I counted about 20 different textures there. So you have an option to personalize it even more to find that texture that you really like that speaks for your kitchen, your outdoor garden, things like that. So the options there are just endless. Now let's take a look. Now with the planter here, you will need wooden posts, 3 of them, or at least one with 3 uses. 2 uses of wooden planks. You're going to need the green and blue dye, and then nails and wax. I will tell you that's not too terribly hard to make. It's something that's fairly simple, fairly straightforward, just uses a lot of wood. So if you are looking to make this or make a couple of them, make sure to stock up on wood. Now, other than that, if there's anything else you guys would like to see with my videos, please feel free to comment or even IM me in World. I did forget to let you guys know that each of these herbs, the basil, mint, and garlic, they are 100 Ls in the store. So everything that was released today is 100 Ls except for that vendor, which that vendor was 50 Ls. So again, until next time, hopefully you enjoyed the video, and we look forward to chatting with you again soon.